Roundtable. We are your hosts. I'm Joe Clark.
It's Jay.
Karen Helen Keller.
Doug Dunbar. Welcome back.
Sorry guys, welcome back. We had a little technical difficulty with the microphones, and I'm hoping it's cured right now, and you guys are able to hear us clear. Sorry about that. Something with the driver again caused that fluttering noise that you guys couldn't hear us with, and I kind of checked it and figured out that you really couldn't hear us very well. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Be sure to view us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And on Facebook, if you're new to the show tonight, please go on our page and hit like and follow, because there's two different things, like and follow, and it'd be much appreciated. We want to have as many people as we want in our group. And hi guys to all the new groups we signed up with, and that's pretty much it. And we're going to re-kick off the show here. We have two drinks on tonight. There's one we're definitely featuring first, and that's going to be right here. And that is going to be the Dalwhinnie, and that is Lizzie's Dram, only available at the distillery. And Mr. Doug over here went to this distillery in Scotland and
had the
picked up
pleasure
a bottle. There you go.
Visiting and picking it up myself. So it was on my target list as I visited, and I was very pleased to find it there. So we're going to give it a try tonight.
I'm a Dalwhinnie fan, so I can't wait.
I figured this would be a good one for this group. So
Yeah.
I've never had it, so I don't know what to expect.
Awesome. So if you're watching for the first time, again, this is for new people. This is Scotch Month on our show, and this is the last show of the Scotch Month. So we're gonna. We also picked another region we never got to, just because Doug brought us a few very good drinks here, and they've all come from overseas and not available here. So we got something else, and I'll introduce that one later, and that is going to be an aisle. Go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm listening.
Sponsors?
Well, we can do the sponsors again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
All
Yeah,
I
kick it off,
apologize.
man.
Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
As always, everything you guys do. We have the Royal Havana Cigars, who supplies all of our cigars and ashtrays and lighters and everything, cutters, you name it, we get it. The Village Martini. Thank you to those guys. The Clifton Martini as well. And the North Coast Jazz Ensemble. Did I get it right this time?
North Coast Jazz Ensemble.
Yep,
All right.
you did.
Over
You
St.
did.
Tilly, check them out. I know he's playing in September at Quitanas, correct?
September 12th.
So September 12th, so go check them out. We're going to be there. Always a good time for sure. So I switched cigars. I'm smoking another Royal Havana cigar. It's a same cigar, Ecuadorian Habano wrapper, and it's just a smaller ring gauge, so to say. So 54. So good cigar.
Okay, nice.
Very good. So Joe,
Smells
did
good from
you
over
get this? Did you get our?
I
shit
think
together?
we're all figured out. Nobody's commenting back, so I'm guessing the sound is good.
All right.
I'm just going to roll with that.
Yeah,
We got
you're not stupid like Karen said.
I'm smart. I'm not dumb like everybody says. I deserve respect.
Yeah, right. So we got some people commenting back that it is good. Everybody can
Okay.
hear us. Heather's watching; she can hear us. Eric's good. Yep. Albert's here.
Okay.
A bunch of our peoples are here signing on. Spread the word, guys. So we're gonna keep going with the show here. So we got the cigars done. Let's pop the whiskey up here to the camera. And you guys want to dish that out?
We already dished it out.
Well,
No,
you
Dalwhinnie.
just poured it
Dalwhinnie.
out.
Yeah,
Now you
We already
got
poured it out. Yeah.
Dish it
dish it out. I'm sorry. I apologize, kids.
Wow, dude, that is like
Sleeping at the wheel.
super light. So there's the bottle, and there's the sleeve that it came in.
it. Smells fantastic. It really does. So as Joe said,
Wow.
this is Dalwhinnie Lizzie's Dram, and it is available only at the distillery. It's 96 proof, by the way. So Dalwhinnie Distillery is in the
Cairngorms?
Thank you. It's a national park in the village of Dalwhinnie, Scotland, and it's actually set up in the mountains, and it's the highest elevation distillery in Scotland at 1,164 feet above sea level. And I read some interesting things on their website about how the weather gets really bad in the winter. So if you have any plans to take a trip to Scotland in the winter, you may not get to Dalwhinnie because of the poor conditions that they have there.
Yeah, and just a quick comment. That's because of that high elevation and the colder temps. their whiskeys take longer to age, and that's part of the reason for their such light color and
Yeah.
light bodies. So.
Yeah, this is one of the lighter whiskeys that I think I've
it's
seen.
it's almost like, what was that, which one of the Buffalo Trace White
Inch
Lightning?
Glower, it's almost the same color as Inch Glower.
Inch grower.
It looks like one of the bourbons that was out that
Bourbon?
that was this light. It was
I've never seen a bourbon.
Jim Beam Ghost.
Beam Ghost.
Had that.
Oh,
it was like a
gosh.
super light tint like that. That's how light this is,
I know,
man.
it's very
It
nice.
is.
The,
It is
the
very.
Ghost is in brandy oak barrels, no char for the Jim Beam.
Yeah,
Very good.
this reminds me of it, just the color of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
obviously the
Very,
nose
very
is.
It's a little white dog too.
Well, it's
Yeah,
like
white
Karen. Sorry, Karen.
No, that's cool. I'm glad that Doug interjected there. That was some good information. But Dalwhinnie refers to itself as a Highland whiskey, but its location is within both the Highland and the Speyside, so it could legally be called either one. But how do they call themselves a Highland?
Yeah, and I would say technically it's in the Highlands. There's
in the
no
mountains.
doubt that it's in the Highlands. So that yeah.
Dougie would know, he was there.
I know he was. I
He
know.
walked the path.
So the distillery was founded in 1897. It was actually, they broke ground in 1897 by John Grant, George Seller, and Alexander. Oh, I didn't write his last name down. It's an Alexander guy.
Alex. Oh, Sir Alex.
We really got our shit together tonight.
Yeah, we did. I'm snot. No. So they actually put down 10,000 pounds to build the distillery. So 10,000 pounds back in 1897 is equivalent to 1.3 million pounds today, or 1.6 million American dollars. So that was a crap ton of money back
Right.
then.
Wow.
Once they built the distillery, they actually opened it up in February, and they named it the Strathspey Distillery. Production began in February, but actually in the summer of that same year, they had to liquidate. So, yeah.
Furniture sale?
Something like that, yeah, a white elephant.
Wow.
No, but it was bought by October A.P. Blythe, and he bought it for his son.
Ah.
And that's when he named it the Dalwhinnie. And Dalwhinnie is actually a Gaelic word, which I'm not going to pronounce. Whatever. And it means...
Maybe he can say it.
It means meeting place. Here, I wrote it in real big letters because I don't know.
No.
Yeah, no, yeah.
The,
it ain't
the
happening.
problem with Gaelic is even if you see the way it's spelled, you have no idea how it's pronounced.
It's like being in Boston.
Probably some
Yeah.
Italian wrote it. You never know.
But
Scotch Italian.
unless you know Gaelic, which I don't.
If anybody in Boston is watching, I've asked my daughter this when she lived there. I don't know why it's pronounced Worcester and it's spelled like Worcester,
Worcester.
but then it's
Worcester.
Dorchester and not Dooster. So if someone can explain to me why it's Worcester and Dorchester and not Worcester and Dooster, I'd love to know the answer to that. Okay.
Rudy
Well-
says, does this qualify as straw color?
Yeah, it's light straw. I mean, yeah.
It's super light, man.
It smells fantastic.
Yeah, it does. I know. I'm okay.
Just-
Finish it up so
I
we can
just,
try.
yeah, no, I got a couple more things. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll do the tasting.
It's currently owned by Diageo. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the Diageo.
Diego.
Diego, is that what it is?
I know
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's Diageo.
Diageo. Okay.
Yes.
See, I never know. So, like you said, it's currently only available at the distillery,
Oh my.
and this is called Lizzie's Dram, and it's created in honor of the first female operator in a malt distilling. That did malt distilling, and her name was Elizabeth Stewart, and she actually worked at the Dalwhinnie Distillery for 30 years.
Okay. So Lizzie's her nickname.
Leslie Smith.
Yeah,
Nice.
this is
Okay.
kind of in honor of her retirement.
She got around so much they made her a drink. No.
Sorry, Lizzie.
Oh my.
You try hanging with these guys for a while.
She said she just wants to spend a little more time with family.
That's what it was.
Yeah. As much as she loves making whiskey.
All right, boys, let's get on it. You want to start drinking?
Well,
what do we got on the nose?
Official notes I have. Nose is remarkable depth with warm, sweet malt and apples on the nose. official taste. Mulled orange notes mingle with the oak, resulting in a perfectly whole, rich, and fruity single malt. Official finish is long, pleasant, and deeply rewarding. Well, that doesn't tell us that much, but so I guess we'll find out for ourselves.
All right. I definitely smell the apple.
Dude, it is, yeah.
Strong apple. Green apple.
Yeah,
I definitely smell apple.
Yeah.
Definitely green apple.
definitely green apple on that.
Doug, you gonna give us the notes on that?
Welcome. Wake up.
Welcome to the
Wake
show.
up.
You just gave us the
I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. I'm
got the apple.
getting hit up on the phone. I'm just trying to
Here we go
answer
again.
questions.
I'm smart.
I'm smart.
Don't like everybody
Sometimes,
says.
Greg,
I'm 100% Italian.
I
Give
thought
me a
my
break
balls
over
were going to
here.
get busted
Sorry.
tonight. Jeez.
Sorry, Doug.
feel
I
a little bit
wasn't.
of,
Yeah, equal opportunity bull buster.
apple, maybe even
Right
a
here.
slight amount, like almost a pear, and
Yeah.
definite sweet oak.
I get that pear, like you said. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Man,
Man, that is.
maybe
good. Very
maybe a
pretty.
touch
It
of
smells great.
like
The aroma is unbelievable.
melon rind almost.
And it's a Highland, right?
Yeah.
West
This
Highland?
is
It
a
is a
Highland.
Highland.
It's not a West Highland. It's
Okay.
kind of
That's a terrier.
right in the middle.
It's in the south.
Down south somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
All right, are we drinking this stuff?
Let's
Yeah,
try it, man.
All right, let's do it. Oh my god, it goes down like water.
Wow.
Anybody get honey on that?
No, but I got a lot of fruit on it.
See, I don't get a lot of fruit on that.
I get honey aftertaste.
Dude, I got hardcore honey on that.
I got the honey aftertaste.
Wow.
I got some like definitely some sweetness. What was
There is no
like
bite
a
to this
little-
at all. Is this
little
80
bit
proof?
of
96 proof.
Wow.
What?
yeah.
I missed that. That's 96 proof? Damn.
With that color.
That'll floor you
Yeah.
quick.
Holy cow.
Dude, that goes down like water, man.
It's very good.
Wow, that's
Very, very
incredible
good.
for 96 proof.
Hey Lizzie, if you're around, hit Joe up later. He's liking it.
I like your drink. No, this is incredible. What's the age on this? Did they give an age statement?
No, they don't.
Okay.
So
I don't. It doesn't matter. If this was a year old, I wouldn't care. It's unbelievable. I
I
can't believe that's 96 proof.
get a little bit of like maybe because I get the salt, almost like saltwater taffy, a little bit, and then oak. That's how I would.
See, I do get a
I
little.
don't get like you. I'm not getting a lot of fruit on the tongue. It's a little more. I get the candy and.
John Downey's watching. Steve Frangos, Robert Diagazio, Eric Black, Heather, Eric Von Hotch, Rudy. Everybody else, hi. How's it going tonight? Hope you guys are having a good drink like we are. We're just getting through this
I
tasting.
just want to know what they, when Lizzie came out, what they did to her. I don't know if they got her all drammed up and gave her a wedgie or what. I mean, how did all this become? It's really good.
This is incredible.
It's good.
Really good.
I just want to know.
I think
man.
she gave him like a year notice on her retirement. She was
That's
had
probably why they
somebody
gave her the wedgie.
that was kind of understudy that she was grooming, and so they knew that she was going to retire, and they think they planned this release as a surprise. I don't. That's my guess.
Very good.
Wow.
Very, very good.
You guys
I'm
gonna hit it again?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I already have.
Absolutely.
To me, the second taste of it was more complex than the first one. I got a lot more flavor.
You know, the peat is there, but it's
Yeah.
gone in a
Barrel-
flash.
oh man, it's you don't even notice it. I get a lot of apple, pear, and honey.
Yeah,
is what I pull out of
I
it.
do too.
Yeah.
As a combination.
That's
I
a
didn't get,
nice
I didn't get
drink,
the honey
man.
right out of the gate, but I got a lot of it on the aftertaste. But yeah, I do get all three of those things.
This is really good, man.
Wow.
And a little salty peat does come through at the very end.
It is. It's
It does,
really good.
yeah.
I'm getting like
And when are you going back there?
sweet honey.
I'm going to go back not next summer, but the following summer.
We might not like you by then, but really.
Oh, if
you
you're
ship
still
us-
around,
can you
get us
ship us
one of
one
these?
anyway?
Yeah.
I'm going to take a separate suitcase. We're going to buy a separent suitcase one. I'm going to just
I think you need to take a hiatus and get your ass back.
Hey, Greg, I'm going to distract him. Hey, Doug, look, Elvis.
Get the bottle.
Very good. Nice pick.
Yeah.
No, this is
Very
great.
nice pick.
Thank you for
I'm
sharing
curious
this.
to do a drop of water. We don't have
Oh,
any-
I don't
I'm
even
not
want to
even
touch. I'm
touching
not
that.
touching it. There's no way I'm touching
I would
it.
feel horrible.
You go right ahead.
I'm just good, just for
You're the Scotch.
well because I can.
Ah! Okay. You're playing
Oh, no,
around
he
with it.
didn't.
You're screwing around. Like when you were a kid.
I bet it opens up really nice. Being nice, this is crazy, guys.
It's really good.
Audience, you
I
guys
don't
are watching.
want-
This is. I would have thought this would have been an 80 proof for all day. This is 96, and it's super. Like even the color's light. It is really
Yeah.
It's
complex.
almost clear.
It's very. It's a very light drink, very light mouthfeel, so not oily or anything like that, or
No.
heavy.
Interestingly, I don't think the water
I would have never
changed a
guessed
lot.
96 proof. Man, you could really drink this and get hammered really easily.
Yeah, this is nice. I do.
Not
like
that
this.
that's why we drink.
No, and
No.
it's not. It's just it's so easy going and it's so tasty and so good.
You
Man,
want to have more.
I'll just drink
because
from the
it's-
bottle.
It is. It's
It's
fantastic.
very enjoyable. It really is. It's just a really approachable whiskey
yeah, wow.
that just has a lot of expression to it. And
Yeah.
it's, I certainly would recommend it, and it gets my thumbs up.
I drink a lot of the Dalwhinnie 15. It's incredible. It's a very
Yeah.
good drink. I think it's right around $90 to $100. It's up there for a bottle of whiskey, but it's really, really good. Really good. I'm impressed. This is on another spectrum. I just had Dalwhinnie 15 recently, and this is on another spectrum. It's not even. I would have never guessed it came from them.
I usually don't like the peatiness, but this has just the little hint of
It's
peatiness to
unbelievable.
it that you're like, oh yeah, that's Scotch.
See, now that's
Yeah.
I would drink that. You know, I'm not a huge Scotch guy, but I would drink that. I really would.
Oh yeah.
I think everything that Doug's
Yeah.
brought on the show,
And
bourbons
Dimmick,
included,
where's a
I would
Crown
definitely-
Peach?
I would Crown Peach. No way.
I drank peach in college. I can't do it.
Andrew is drinking Dalwhinnie 15 right now.
That's what I'm talking
You go,
about.
man.
Andrew.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Good deal.
So
Way to
you
join in.
had the Dalwhinnie 15, you said?
Been drinking it for years. Yeah.
And so how do you compare it to this?
It's
Color, taste, nose?
Night and day. All of
Really?
it. Yep.
Is it darker in color?
I'm a
Yes.
little surprised. I wasn't expecting it to be this light and
No, not at all.
this proof and so
Right.
complex.
That's really
Yeah.
good.
It's.
I almost want to save the rest of it.
I mean, in general, their whiskeys are light. Again, we talked about because of the
Right.
cooler climates and
Right.
everything. At the same time, Dalwhinnies can age really well. So
I might tomorrow.
the
I know-
older ones are great because of that they can age. They age a little bit slower than.
I might pick up a
locations.
Dalwhinnie 15. Is it 15? Right?
Yep.
15?
Incredible.
Just to
Tomorrow.
compare?
Yeah, it's incredible.
I think I'm gonna grab a
Now, have
bottle
you had the
tomorrow.
Dalwhinnie before?
It's the first time, man.
Yeah.
Of
Awesome
any
story.
kind of Dalwhinnie?
Any kind of Dalwhinnie. I'm not a Scotch guy.
Well,
so.
it's different. Your
It is,
15 is going to be different, but it's
Yeah, but still.
the 15 is incredible. Yeah.
So I'm thinking
We
we
gotta
grab a
change
bottle
that.
tomorrow.
I think
We gotta
there's
work
like
on that.
this much bottle left at Heather's dad's. Maybe that much.
Of the 15?
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna grab a bottle tomorrow.
Yeah, he loves that stuff, man. He loves the 15.
Let's see why.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see
really
why.
good.
Yeah, great.
All right, so
Two
I don't
thumbs
know.
up?
2 thumbs. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
2
4 if
thumbs
I
up
had
for
them.
sure.
This is
Right.
definitely awesome. Killer drink.
Definitely.
So, like I said before, we didn't really get to do an. Am I saying this correctly? Yes or no? Isla.
Correct.
Okay, awesome. I said it right. I didn't say Islay, but Isla.
Yeah.
So I actually brought one over that Mr. G kicked out of the collection and was like, I'm going to throw this out. It's a 10-year Lafroig. If you want to bump those around and put that in front of the camera there. So we're going to try this. So it's not a regular 10-year Lafroig. This is going to be from one end of the spectrum of Scotch to all the way to the other end of the spectrum of Scotch. You open this up, it smells like a forest fire down here. So it's a 10-year-old, but it's actually cask strength, and I believe it is 118 proof.
Oh.
Or wait, no, 116 proof. It's 58%.
That's
116.
Yeah, 116. So
that's gonna
it
be
is
a wee bit
116
spirited.
proof of Lafroig. So whatever glass we're pouring this in, just remember that it is going to smell like it for the rest of the night, and this may kill our palate. So I had a little bit of actually Weller earlier.
This isn't like the 18-year that we have tried before, is it?
No,
No,
this
this is
all
super
different,
heavy.
All different.
This is super
very-
heavy?
Oh yeah, big
You're
time.
gonna love this.
Pete, It's
Oh,
gonna
no.
be Peat and
All right, I hate to do this, but I'm gonna have to shoot what I
Ziggy
have
zaggy,
left.
ziggy zaggy.
Zigga zaka, hoy, hoy, hoy! Oktoberfest next weekend, kids.
Rudy, you said you've had the Lafroig 18, but not the 10. 18 is a different ballpark than 10. This is I like this 10 better than the regular 10 because it is a cast strength and it's different.
I've never had it,
Correct.
so I'm a big lover of Isla's, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, that's why I brought it. I was like, we have to do this. We didn't get to do it. We're not doing a show next week because it's a holiday weekend and people got things to do.
We haven't done any of the Islas this
And that's
month,
why we're
so
doing it. Yep.
It was Joe's idea, and it was a great idea. Good call, Joey.
I'm not even tried it
Man.
yet. We'll see if it's a great idea.
Are we?
guy.
We doing it now?
Yeah, pour it out. Here's
Put
my
one.
glasses. Or else
Here,
you can
just
just pass
pour
it
the
down.
bottle.
Yeah.
Just pour the
Easy for you to say.
Exactly.
Oh, there's some literature in there.
That's all right. We can't read.
Yeah, that's,
Uh oh.
Doug can
I hear footy steps.
Hello? Who dis?
oh my
Oh
God!
shit, there goes the neighborhood.
Alberto.
Hey,
What's
Welcome.
going on?
What's going on? What's going on? You guys live?
Yes.
You're live. What's
That's what I
happening,
thought,
bro?
man. I was watching you guys over from Sapphire. Q&A still? Or do I...
No,
No, we're still doing the
Oh,
show.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. Here,
No.
Hey, pardon the intrusion.
Grab a seat.
I thought you guys were on
Yes.
Q&A.
So an asshole walked in and just
Sorry.
took the
I
show
told
to
you
another
to
level.
put the asshole alert on. You guys let him right in the door.
You got a spray right there. You didn't spray him when he's coming down the stairs.
Here, let me spray you down. Albert.
The friggin' dogs didn't even bark.
Oh,
we
that's
always,
too much.
Oh, it's
we,
that
al-
bad.
we always carry a little can
It's
of
so
this.
bad.
all right, well then, here I'll split it with him.
Yeah. Oh, the
I didn't know
repellent.
it's so bad. That
Whatever, I'm gonna drink it. Whatever.
Here,
Oh, whoo, frisbee.
Put your
where's
mouth.
your glass?
Ah. Hey guys, for those of you who don't remember me, I'm Albert Santilli, North Coast Jazz Ensemble. Check us out. All right, bye.
I already gave you your
We
plug.
gave you your props.
So this is a 58%
Here,
Lafroig
here, let
10.
me do this.
What are you doing?
Let me do this.
He's gonna drink my shot.
Here, do that.
Got one for Albert.
You know, after drinking the 18 year, I'm really, really afraid to try this. Like, I'm scared.
I can smell it from across the room when you open
Doug,
it.
could you be kind enough to? I know we're all out of turn here today.
I have a double pour here if you want me to pour some in there.
No, I'm sorry. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
Here, give him some of this too. 'Cause
What happened to my glass? Did you?
There you go. No, that's mine.
This is mine. I just poured it here.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Oh yeah. I don't think. Did we try this? Did I have this with you or
No,
no?
Yeah.
no.
I don't remember.
So it's heavy on the nose. So you got,
Easy now.
I mean, okay. Anybody got any noses on this or notes or anything like that? I'm gonna let Doug take this one over. This is Doug's thing. He likes the Isla. So
Well, it's no doubt that you got a full body eyelid.
it's a big boy Isla, man. As
we got the campfire and we have the.
Andrew said, that's a big Isla. Yeah, he's right.
You got some little bit of.
You got a big island. Don't
Little
worry
bit
about
of
it.
a,
All
You
right.
got one of them. Isla
You
brows.
got a unibrow. That's right. And
You got
13
a little
toes.
bit of salt air and some little bit of seaweed and
Well,
you know,
you said
all the
sea-
stuff that
You said seaweed. I'm all in.
that you find in an island.
I got a.
Now I also Lafroigs I find you always have that vanilla undertone. There's always that
Small
balance
smoke.
sweetness.
You get vanilla out of that for real?
Yeah.
Wow. That nose is.
It's powerful. It's pungent.
I feel like I'm
Salty seaweed.
You'll definitely get the vanilla undertone.
like a dirty butthole
At
right
least
here.
with most.
Right?
I've never had
No.
this with most of
Dear
Lafroigs.
God.
The Lafroig 10
Dude, salty, salted.
for sure.
I don't know.
salted nuts. There you go.
I smell. I smell dead body.
Fresh though.
Not
Recent.
even, no, I'm talking human. Not
Freshly
even animal.
dead.
Recent.
It's just a smoky campfire.
Maybe
salted,
a day or two in the grave.
All that stuff. Jeez.
No, really. I
Smell
get
lime and
that.
copper sulfate.
I get that definite forest fire. What is that? The whole
It's the
forest
Amazon-
fire
the
thing with the
Amazon
island? Is that just super heavy peat? The smoke
We're
peat?
gonna talk about that. Yeah, that comes
All you
from
listeners follow me.
The peat,
I went to
It's the way they do the
mulching
peat.
process.
Okay.
We're going to talk about that. That's
Today.
the Whiskey Wizard today, yes. Peat.
Yes. Okay. All right.
A perfect whiskey to
All right.
segue into the Whiskey Wizard.
See,
Okay,
see,
awesome.
Sexy, we brought you back
Yeah.
at the right time. Well, you brought us back at the right time.
And it's great too because we're not actually that deep in the show. We're only like 28 minutes in. We're already on. So we got
We're in our second whiskey.
seaweed. What is sushi?
Sushi.
You know, I don't know. I'm gonna let
Oh,
you
be
guys.
so hungry.
You know, the more you knows this for me, I'm not a huge Isla fan. I love the Lafroig 18. That don't take that away because Lafroig 18 is the shizzle. But the more I do knows it, the peat becomes more subtle.
You start getting some of the
The more you knows, the
Vanilla.
more you knows.
Got some.
It smells like old shoe leather.
Got some corn now.
Oh,
got
it
some
just smells like
peanuts.
old
all
shoes.
right, kid, let's reel it in, kids.
Some
Let's reel it in.
I'm not being sarcastic.
No, this is
No,
real. I'm being
I-
for real.
Salted
Right?
seaweed shoe leather.
I'm pretty much there.
Dad would be like, that's
You know,
a
every time I
No,
smell
no,
it,
no.
I don't know if
It's a wonderful thing.
if I'm getting used to
Very-
it, but every time I smell it, it actually gets kinder.
Yeah.
believe it or not.
Very antiseptic-y.
I don't
That's
get that.
that's what.
Antiseptic.
Yeah, like very.
Medicinal?
No, I don't think it's like Band-Aids. I don't think it's like that stuff.
No,
Although-
it's not like Band-Aids, but it's
Although
very
heavily peated
antiseptic.
whiskeys, that has been a flavor description.
Right, okay.
But if you're a peaty like I am, it's part of what you look for.
All right, Pete, let's try this.
All right.
All right, let's do it.
Oh boy.
Oh my. Come to Papa.
That's actually really good.
So, when Greg wanted to
That's actually
literally
really good.
throw this bottle in the garbage, and
I
I
get
took him
candy
home
in the end.
because I was a little
What do I get?
There's
Tom
always
in
there's a nice
inebriated.
balancing
I got home and I noticed the sleeve. I'm like, what is this red stripe here? I'm like, oh, this is cast strength. So I did a little research on it. I'm like, oh, this is a cast strength 10-year-old Lafroig. So I immediately cracked it. And I'm like, we're doing this.
Well, so
And,
it's funny
good.
because I gave the bottle. I said to Joe, "You want this 10-year?" I mean, you know, me and him bought a bunch of Lafroy together, but I said, "You want this 10-year?" He's like, "No, gee, just leave it here." I said, "You know what? I'm not a Lafroy fan, so I thought." And I said, "If you don't take it, I'm gonna pour it down the drain."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" I said, "I'm gonna go pour it down the drain right now. I don't even want it on the bar." And he's like, "All right, give me it." So he takes it home and he calls me next day. He's like, "Dude,
You missed out.
you missed out." I'm
This
like,
is
"Well,
cat. He's
whatever.
like, what do you mean
Enjoy,
cast
man."
strength? And he's like, that's Lafroig 10. No. This ain't the regular Lafroig 10.
Yeah.
This is good.
It
It is. It's hard on the nose, but I
That's-
get a lot. I don't know what to tell you. I always pull like this dark cherry out of it, man.
Yeah, there's some sweet kind of fruit undertone to it, and
Yeah.
there's definitely
Pete.
the vanilla for me, which is I always find it in Lafroigs, so it's
Heavy wood
Related
char
to the-
taste to it.
Yes.
related to the oak. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some smoke.
It just kills the heavy smoke. Just kills all the.
So I'm going to
taste
suggest
buds.
this to you guys.
Yeah,
Not to
we're
cut you all off,
gonna
but
do a little water?
please add water to this because it unbelievably opens up and it becomes
This is one I'm really.
it becomes a completely
Curious.
different drink. Could you hand me the bottle? I actually went through most of mine. I just want to add a little bit more before I add water to it. Because it is it's a tasty dram when you add some water to it. It's really
It
good.
mellows
Dude,
the the
way
alcohol
up.
out of
There you
it.
go.
Wow.
So where is and Doug, maybe you're doing this later, but where is the Lafroig distillery?
So it's an Isla, and so that's going to be kind of in the kind of right far west, below, right off of Campbelltown, which is that southwest peninsula in the southwest of Scotland. It's just off of
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not up in the mountains
Southwest.
with the bad snowstorms.
So it's, again, as we talked about, I think a couple of times ago, was Isla and Campbelltown is where whiskey making first came to Scotland. So it's got like the longest heritage
So
of
does
whiskey
heritage
making.
for sure. Absolutely. Okay, I get it. Awesome. All right.
Did you put water in it?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a little bit of soda water, and then I'm gonna try this.
Oh,
I'm gonna wash it down with a little bit of.
that did bring out more of the
Different drink.
sweetness.
Smells like the Home Depot though. You know you were right when you walk in.
The lumber section?
The lumber section. Yeah.
Anybody got any fresh cut
Modern
wood?
errands.
No, it's I'm running
It
errands.
reminds me of just
This is the running errands whiskey, so you just get hammered with him and drive there and get some gas.
being in the outdoors.
It
and
becomes,
smelling a distant
in my
campfire.
opinion. So I put a little bit of water in there. It changed the whole dynamics, and
Yeah.
I don't get any heat at all. Period.
Which for whiskey
I
of
get
this,
nothing but flavor.
of this potency and high peat, that's pretty good.
You gotta drink it, man up.
Here, give me. I'll drink yours.
It's like the glue wood section. Wood glue.
Oh, for the love of
Nope.
Oh.
Mine is perfectly
Yeah.
treated.
Yeah, yeah. Like wood glue.
I'm gonna drink.
The forklift fumes. Gas, diesel.
I mean, I think it is. Once you add some water to this,
What are you saying? You're more of a
I like it better
Lowe's
without
guy?
the water.
This is good, man.
I like it better without the water. I get that from out of the bottle. It was very good. It's smoky. It's peaty. And which I don't even like, but the after that goes away, the flavor really opens up. I added water to it, and I did not have a different opinion about it. I'd rather drink it like it is.
Did you add too much, maybe,
No.
or?
Just a couple drops.
I had a different experience. I think it opened this drink up really
Yeah, I don't
very
think
well. I got a
you
lot
agree
more
a lot
on the
of-
nose.
on a lot of stuff.
I
don't-
think the flavor of it just popped after the water for me. Just really popped.
No, I'd rather drink it the way it is.
I liked it both ways,
Yeah.
but I agree there's definitely a noticeable change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got more sweetness after the water and less of the smoke and
Yeah, it
kind of
it almost
briny taste.
the smoke and the alcohol went away with the basically a teaspoon of water, but I like it better the way it is. I really do.
Okay.
But I like it. 2 thumbs up over here, kids.
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and if you liked it, you don't typically like peaty whiskey.
Correct.
If you do like peaty whiskey and Isla's, you're gonna love this. So it's it'd be right up your alley. Like I love it. So
Awesome.
Woo! Never chugged one of those before, but wow. A lot of char on that one. Holy crap.
That's good.
I like it. I was never a huge Isla fan, but the first one that really changed my mind was the Lafroig 18 when we opened it, and even when we nosed it, we're like, oh, this is different. And the 18 Lafroig is it's fantastic, and it changed my mind. So because if you're into this as a hobby, like we are and stuff, and you're really into whiskey, and you got to try different things. Like people are like, oh, I've tried Scotch before, and I'm like, it's got peat.
in
But,
fact, what
you
better
need to
hobby
find
could
something.
there
You're
be?
going to find something you like. Bourbon is not the only whiskey out there that is the only thing you can drink. If you're a bourbon guy, I'll get into this later on the news and stuff like that. But it's just you got to find the one you like, And if you like certain bourbons, we can even help you make suggestions to get into drinks that you're going to like, as far as Irish, Scotch, Taiwan, Japanese, So
I mean, me and you have gone round and round when it comes to scotches. Me and Joe have gone round and round about scotches, and Joe's a big Scotch guy like yourself, and
I love Scotch.
and he's been trying to teach me a lot about scotches and different flavors and different things like that when it comes to scotches. But I always argue with him. Now, the Dalwhinnie is my favorite Scotch.
You can't go wrong with Dalwhinnie.
Okay. Plus, he introduced us to Glen Rose.
Yeah.
So we have pretty much a lot of Glenrose. And,
There's a lot.
We have
Yeah.
years, all that stuff that you in some of those years
Different
you
casks.
can't get any more different casks, all kinds of stuff. And I like Glen, but I always argue with him. He's like, gee, just if I ever let you down, blah blah blah, and I'm like, I'm not drinking that crap. Da 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 da. He gets all mad at me. But every time he makes me drink it, I'm almost like, what, Joe, you're. But I'll still argue with him.
You little bald-headed.
Oh my goodness! But that's and then you came in for the Whiskey Roundtable and you're a big Scotch guy. So
I like that.
I'm learning from
I don't have
two
to
different-
choose between Scotch whiskey and bourbon.
Yeah, it's
I like them both. But,
yeah.
I would not recommend drinking Bullet Makers or Makers 46 before drinking this.
No.
I would not recommend that at all.
I typically
why?
don't mix bourbon and
Are
Scotch.
you speaking from experience?
I was at an event
One or the
tonight,
other,
and I
right.
just came from an event, and there was a lot of Makers 46
I think,
and Makers going around.
I think Maker's 46 is one of my favorites.
I would say you wouldn't want to drink this before you drink Maker's 46.
And I
so-
Ubered. I do not drink and drive, so on behalf of the Whiskey Roundtable, we always recommend you drink responsibly and to be
Yes,
open to new
sir.
things like scotches. Cheers.
Right. You yourself and Joe. I mean, you brought a whole line of scotches that we've never even had before. So which is great. And
Yeah, this is
It's-
an awesome month.
it's been a great month.
Yeah, Scotch
exactly
month.
right.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking we're gonna do the Whiskey Wizard.
Yes, we are.
All right, let's do that.
We're going to kick off to the Whiskey Wizard here.
Let's get
Mr.
it.
Doug.
Let's do it.
Okay, who's going to hold my artwork appropriate?
Oh boy.
Craig?
You holding the artwork?
No, you're already up.
Okay, thanks. Let me know when I need to.
You got it. They'll be in that order.
That's like the blotter.
You have to. You have to.
What do you see here?
What do you guys see
You have to
tonight?
hold it now.
What's that?
I'll tell you.
I see murder.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm good on the
Oh,
camera.
yeah, you got it. Oh, okay.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Yep, it's all
Okay.
good.
All right, well, I guess this would be the 9th installment of the Whiskey Wizard. So as we finish out Scotch Whiskey Month, we're going to talk a little bit about peat. So I think it's appropriate time, especially after that whiskey.
Yeah. Right.
Well, peat, of course, is a black to brown soil clay-like deposit that's really made of partially decomposed plant material. It forms in really low oxygen environments, acidic environments that you find in bogs and swamps, in cold climates, and Scotland has a lot of that. So if we look at the map of Scotland, you can see the darkest areas there are the areas that have the highest, thickest deposits of peat.
Oh,
And
wow.
there's a correlation between what you see on that map in terms of locations of peat and the types of whiskeys made in those regions. And you'll notice that the peatiest whiskeys do come from those regions in the west with the thickest peat deposits. So I used to think that part of the way that the peat flavor got into Scottish whiskey is partially due to the water, that some of the water used in the whiskey making process filtered down through peat deposits and such, but that's really actually not the case. Even in fairly brown water coming off of those deposits is only about 3 parts per million, and it really doesn't add a lot of peat flavor to the water. In fact, they would then, of course, filter that water anyway for use in whiskey. And the Scots have used peat as a fuel for millennia. It takes about 5,000 to 1,000 years for typical peat deposit to form, and they've been using that as their main source of fuel. Even today, all the distillers, or many of them, still use peat to fire their pot stills, but of course that doesn't really add peat to the flavor. So how does peat flavor get into Scotch whiskey? We could say that it's that peat flavor that is the one thing that's uniquely Scottish about Scottish whiskey. Well, it's during the malting process. So when we take the wet barley, we go through that germination period. It's called malting. Then there's a drying phase, and that's when they infuse it with peat fires to infuse that malt with the peat smoke. And that process of drying takes about 30 hours. And for example, the Freud takes about 18 of those 30 hours of drying and exposes it to heavy peat smoke. So you can see in this picture here, this is actually gathering the peat.
Oh, wow.
For the distillery, the guys are literally go out and they cut the peat. This is that process. throw it out, let it start to partially dry, and then they'll eventually wagon it and carry it back to the distillery for further drying, and then use as fuel. So to conserve peat, because there are some efforts to conserve it in Scotland, what they're doing also now is they pulverize it into a very fine powder, and then they add that to other forms of fuel to essentially get the same level of smoke without using quite so much peat. But I understand that the Scottish weather and environmental conditions conspire to make more peat still every year than is used by the Scottish whiskey industry. So, kind of bring this home, we know that Islay produces some of the peatiest whiskeys, same with the West Highlands, the Islands, and I think that this is my favorite region. I still like how some of these smoky whiskeys like Ardbeg, Lagavulin, Kilchoman, Coahuila still have a lot of, if you compare like the fruit of a Bowmore, and as I said, the really heavy, to me, vanilla qualities that still underlay like Lefroy. And my favorite of all time, of course, is the Coahuila, the 18. I just, it's got that wonderful smoky, peppery quality along with this very sweet coconut that just gives it a lot of balance. So anyway, that's why the Islas are my favorite. They measure the amount of peat in parts per million on the malt. Not exactly how the measurement takes place, but that's a typical range. 0 to 300 is kind of the scale. If you take Lefroy, that's about 85 parts per million. So just to give you some idea there. And then on Islay, the peat itself has another, the compound that's really gives a lot of that peat quality too are phenols. And then on Islay, they also have bromophenol, and that's really responsible for more of that key seaweed kelp kind of oceanic quality that I think also adds to the character that these whiskeys have, being by the sea and then also getting all that ocean air too. So I think that works well together. Anyway, that's about it for this installment of the Whiskey Wizard.
Yeah, that's interesting, man.
I'm Doug Dunbar.
Doug Dunbar. Yeah, that's interesting, man. My grandparents used to take me to the Irish Festival here in Berea, in Ohio. Since I was a small child, and when I got old enough to do a whiskey tasting there, one of the Irishmen actually told me that the hole that they cut out in the barrel, they would take this peat and they would stuff it, the peaty hole in the hole, and that would add to that to get that peaty flavor as they rolled it up the hill. That's what he said anyway.
Oh, interesting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Awesome. What was all the ruckus over here? Was there something great a ruckus?
Could you describe the
ruckus, sir? I don't know if there's a ruckus.
Oh my.
Killing me.
But yeah, peat is kind of the essential qualities for me of Scottish whiskey. It's also the controversial piece. Like you said, some people say, it adds like a Band-Aid taste, or
I don't think it does. I don't.
But I think once you get used to Scottish whiskey, you appreciate the subtlety of it, and at first it seems not so subtle, but after you get used to it, it's a quality I look for.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to lie. No disrespect to Joe. But since we've done the Whiskey Month and some of the stuff that you brought in the past, it's really broadened my horizons, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Scotch is good.
Joe is always beating me up, and I'm always fighting him, and then you come in and
it can be an acquired thing, like a lot of things.
Yeah.
It takes maybe some time, and then you learn a different kind of appreciation.
Yeah, some people seem like, especially with the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op and stuff like that, and even some friends and stuff, they always start out with bourbon, and I always found, because I started out with Scotch. That was the first whiskey I had, and I liked a lot. I thought Scotch was easier to introduce yourself into, because there's so many different types, and there's a lot lighter ranges in Irish whiskey too. So
That's
when people
true.
are interested in a whiskey, I actually start them on a lighter Irish, like a Caskmates Jameson.
You take something like Lowland, like Bladnoch. It's it's as light as this, but this has this very honey heather, very, very soft quality that I feel you could. If anybody's going to like whiskey, could start with that and love it. All the range to something like this.
Oh, you can introduce somebody
or
into
Lagavulin 16. That's
Yeah.
literally like you've got some campfire char in there.
That Dalwhinnie here, I'll put it back up on the camera. That Lizzie's Dram that is again only available at the distillery in Scotland, where Doug went to Scotland and picked this up at the distillery. If this was widely available, I mean, you could introduce anybody to whiskey with that.
Yeah,
And that's crazy because it's a damn near 100 proof, and there's no alcohol to it.
Nope.
On the nose or the palate, nothing.
It's decidedly Scottish.
So when you were in Scotland, so were you able to, like, at the Dalwhinnie, were you able to sample different things as well? Or?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Did Mama go with you?
Oh yeah.
Did she sample anything?
Don't ask me to
Or she just
recall
had
anything we
coffee,
sampled,
she
but
wanted
yeah.
coffee or cappuccino or something.
One of the things I would have to say about that trip is all the distilleries we went into. Now, I did a previous trip, I think I told you, to Scotland, and we hiked along the Spey, and we found that a lot of the distilleries weren't even open to the public.
Really?
Which surprised me, but on this trip that we took, every stop we had, of course we planned things where we knew they had tours, but inside the selections offered, they were all offering things you couldn't buy anywhere else but the distillery. They had liberal pours when you were sampling, and when they charged, it was a couple pounds for, if I got the same pour like we did last weekend. I took my son out in California to a whiskey store for a bar for his birthday, and they would have been $30 pours.
Wow.
They were for a couple pounds, and the selection was fantastic. So
Yeah, I watched some of those videos that were up on our page there.
Yeah, they're.
Oh man.
if you ever have the means to, I would recommend, if you like Scotch whiskey, make that trip and
Awesome.
go check it out for yourself. And I've never seen a more beautiful countryside.
Everybody says that. So my wife, her parents are from Scotland, and she's gone there a couple times, Scotland, Ireland, and she's been around to a lot of different places. Like she's been to China, Thailand, Japan, Hawaii, all that stuff, and she said the countryside there is incredible.
The driving, I'll admit, is not for the faint of heart, but a lot of mountain, single road.
Right. That's all right, though.
Single.
I mean, it's part of the part of the trip.
And
That's
part of the
part of the
experience.
She corrects
I mean,
me. One of her older family members actually lives in a house that's been in their family for a long time. They don't even have normal heat. It's still wood-fired heat in the house. So,
There's probably some
Yeah.
still using peat
yeah.
as their main heating source.
Yeah.
So I was looking. I couldn't see the pictures as always, but so the peat process. It looked like, were these guys like?
If you almost think like you have a deposit that's maybe a meter thick,
Okay.
and they have these special like hose that just cut down through it, and they'll make a row. They take off about this much of the topsoil, and then it's all this. You think of it as like a soft.
It looked like sod patches.
It's a little bit like
okay.
it's
I mean, for what I could barely
cross
see.
between sod
Right.
and clay.
Okay.
Consistency, and then they could just cut through it and pull it out so it's moist enough that it sticks together like in a block, and then they can sit out and dry it.
Wow.
Huh.
And then they
And because it's eventually it's the same process that coal is made from.
Okay.
It's just earlier on. If you gave that process another million years, you'd have coal.
Yeah. Okay.
But
were you able to see any of that go on or no?
no, I didn't get to see anybody cutting peat, but I saw lots of landscape that looked boggy and but then you'd have a big mountain or
Right.
cut off in the mist.
Doug brought
Just
home
what you'd
dirt.
expect.
So let me ask you. This is a silly question, but so as you traveled and saw these different distilleries, if you will, with the scotches, what was the smell in the air?
Well, it's depending where you were. Most of the time,
Could you smell
they're
it?
beautiful. No, I mean,
Because it's covered
You-
with the first layer of dirt and stuff like that.
yeah, you mean the peat?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
No, I didn't smell peat like in the
Scotland?
air, but-
Yeah, I'm curious.
Drunk bastards over there. I mean, Jesus, what do you think you're gonna smell?
That's my big sexy one.
I mean, it's crazy if you read about like Scotland's history. Like they had a national emergency about how drunk the people were.
Really?
Yes.
We're gonna have that here when they legalize marijuana.
Isn't that why God made whiskey so the Irish wouldn't rule the world or something?
Oh.
Hey,
Powerful people.
What you talking about, Willis?
you talking about what?
Say you knew it.
All right, Doug. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Great,
for sure. Awesome.
great end to the Scotch month. Fantastic.
Scotch month. Yeah,
Amen.
that was it. I'm glad we got one of the Islas on there, and that Dalwhinnie is fantastic.
It
dude.
is.
It's
Thank
incredible,
you so
man.
much for everything.
My
Dalwhinnie's
goal
amazing.
for,
Yeah. There it is. Any of you in Ohio and stuff like that that are watching tonight, Dalwhinnie is readily available at pretty much any liquor store. 15 is readily available.
Correct.
And it's a hell of a drink.
Still a great whiskey.
It'll win the Darwin Awards.
He's got his arm around Joe. It's
So,
awfully cute over here. I just want to tell you.
Okay.
All right, we're going to kick on to the news here.
What? Did you say
What?
news?
Did you
What?
say news?
Right.
Did you
Nobody
say
mentioned
news?
news today. I asked you
Did
if we were
it?
going to do news today. You didn't say nothing.
Did
Who
you say
knew?
news?
Who knew?
I did. And I guess we're going to get a commercial with the news here.
Technical
So,
difficulties.
Isla Distillery Ardbeg releasing a 19-year single malt called it's Traban. It's TRAIGHBHAN. So I'm just going to call it Traban. It's first permanent age-stated whiskey in over 20 years. Our last age-stated whiskey was Ardbeg 10, and that was in about 20 years, I guess. Say that was right around 99, 2000. They released that. It's named after a beach. And it is limited release annually. They're going to do it. It is going to have every year. They're going to do a slight tweak to the batch, so it'll change every year. So some of our bourbons they'll have an annual release of it, and every batch is a little bit different. It's going to be American oak and sherry butts.
Sherry's butt?
butt.
The sherry
man.
Sherry, not
Man, that
Harry.
girl gets around too, man. Everybody's aging in that sherry butt.
Not Harry. Harry.
Better than everybody. My mom was still alive. She'd be all up for that challenge.
I want to see what Sherry's butt is
She'd
about.
be teabagging in there. wouldn't
Teabagging in there. You know,
Reminds
like,
me of my first grade
I've never
teacher.
seen shit like this, huh?
Seymour Butts. Who's
Seymour Butts. Yeah.
Jesus
Nobody's
Christ.
Seymour Butts.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Mom,
available
hey, hang on a
worldwide.
second. Hang on a second. Mom, I'm only kidding. Really, I'm only kidding. Good.
It's available
Dad, I
worldwide.
miss you.
Listen, this motherfucker. Don't talk over. It's $180 a bottle. And then
What?
Supermarket Aldi's, you missed it, I already said it. Supermarket Aldi's releasing Glen Marnock 25 year this month. They're having a Scotch month also this month, and it's almost over. They're also having it's being released on the 22nd. That was
Copycats.
yesterday.
Right. So you talked about that, about all these having alcohol.
That was before, yeah. They actually they've won a couple awards.
What was the name of that whiskey again? In all these?
Glen Marnock.
Mirage. I thought it was Mirage.
Marnoch.
Marnock. Okay.
It is released yesterday. It's a space side. It's a single malt. It's $39.99, and there's only 900 bottles.
Is it in Ohio?
Any of them
Nope.
coming in Ohio? Of course.
Of course not.
It's actually only overseas, guys. Sorry.
Hopefully,
All these whiskeys are overseas,
Of course. Thanks, Alden.
and they win world whiskey challenges all the time, and their whiskey is super cheap.
maybe we should.
So that's an actual distillery, and they're just releasing it for that distillery only in all these stores.
You know, when we were in Boston, we used to go to Trader Joe's all the time.
Yeah.
Right.
They had
Get their
unbelievable-
whiskeys there.
Unbelievable
We should go to one of those
whiskeys
competitions.
there
Yeah,
for
right.
no money.
So I just want to let you guys know that's the wrap of Scotch Month, and I want to throw a few pointers out there on the news here. So it is always at least 3 years old. It's always in oak barrels. The first recorded Scotch was 1495, the year 1495.
Wow.
They like to call it drams, the drinks, taking a glass. This is a dram of Scotch. And it's around an ounce or an ounce and a half is a dram. Actually, 4 regions, don't correct me yet. So the 4 regions were the Highland, the Lowland, the Isla, and the Campbelltown. And recently, Speyside, that is recent. Speyside is recognized as a region of Scotch. Right. So all other regions are not official. So there's only 5 official regions.
Speyside is not one?
Speyside
Oh,
is
it is
one.
one,
It was recent. That's why I started out. 4 was always the official regions of Scotch. That was Highland, Lowland, Isla, Campbelltown, and now the 5th is Speyside. All others are not. They say there's this and that. You have your Orc, or what is that Orkney and stuff like that. They're actually not recognized.
Islands. Well,
Right.
That comes under the island.
Right. So that comes over the island. So there's other regions that people talk about that is not recognized by the Scotch Whisky Association. There's only 5 regions. Another
We did
thing,
talk about that in a previous episode.
You did,
All
yeah.
When you got back.
Yeah.
There's even a further distinction now, the West Highlands. So.
Yep.
But
So I was
it
just
doesn't
driving
matter.
home. Yep.
Just the fact is that there's
They're all
a certain
good.
quality to the different regions, but there's also a pretty wide spectrum in all of them. So
Yeah, there are.
That's why you're the whiskey.
you still got to taste them and try them and decide.
Sure,
what you
yeah.
like.
Absolutely.
And it's cool because each distillery has a lot of their, and I find this more with Scotch than in bourbons, a lot of their offerings can be incredibly different from each other. You know that one's a Speyside, but their flavor profile is very different. Whereas when you drink, say, something like Old Forester, they have that similar profile to all their drinks, but they taste a little bit different. Where you can have something like this offered by a distillery and then go to Dalwhinnie 15 and be like, I would have never thought that. You know what I mean? And then, so for you guys introducing your buddies that are bourbon drinkers or whatever drinkers into whiskey, Scotch is a very good whiskey to start with. There's plenty of cost-friendly Scotches out there, even like Monkey Shoulder, which is around $30. You just got to figure out their flavor profile, and if you're Scotch knowledgeable, you can find something they're going to like. There's a lot of Scotches out there for you guys in the Cleveland Bourbon Co-op. They're kind of anti-Scotch. You'll find it, and you'll love it. Scotch does cost more here in the States, so it's not a cheap investment like bourbon can be.
Correct.
You do have to spend a little bit to get good Scotch. Yeah.
Now, can you get the different Scotch flavors or tastes, drams at Blizzardville too?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Blizzardville has
So-
incredible Scotch.
So
flavor.
that's, I know we're always sending people there for their whiskeys and bourbons, but again, if you want to get into it, you want to try, it's a great place to go to just,
Yeah. Absolutely.
get a
They have a
pour,
lot of
see if you
Scotches
like it.
you'll never see on the shelves of Ohio. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's it, guys. We're going to
All right.
close this up. That's a
All
Whiskey
right.
Roundtable. We are your hosts.
Wait, I got one more thing to say.
Okay.
So, all you listeners out there, September is going to be another big month for us. We have some announcements that we will announce when we come back after Labor Day weekend. So, stay tuned to that. I think you're all going to enjoy what we got to say. So, we'll talk to you soon. You guys have a great weekend. Have a safe Labor Day weekend, and we'll talk to you soon.
We're taking a vacation day next weekend, so we will not be doing a live show next Friday. We have plenty of shows you can watch on YouTube and Facebook. Hit us up there, watch some of our shows, give us some likes, and remember on Facebook, hit the like and the follow buttons, please. Thank you. We are your hosts. This is Whiskey Roundtable. I'm Joe Clark.
Big G.
Karen Ellen Keller.
Doug Dunbar.
I'm Albert Santilli.
And the Lake Guy.
See you in 2 weeks.
Slanja.
Enjoy your week.
Be safe, all.